Hello and welcome to this Careers Unlocked minisode, brought to you by the EY Foundation. In this series of minisodes, we're covering topics associated with banking, managing your taxes, and personal finance. We know these topics can be daunting, but they're unavoidable as you enter the working world. So we've enlisted an expert to tackle some of the questions on your minds. We're delighted to welcome Simon Morykin from HMRC's broadcast team to share some important tips and to help us understand more. Today, Simon is going to talk us through national insurance numbers. Simon, welcome to the minisode, and thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Kathryn, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm good, settling back into the new year.
Great. Well, we're really delighted to have you along. And as I said, today we're going to talk about national insurance numbers. I mean, I definitely remember getting my national insurance number quite a while ago now, but I do remember getting it. And I remember learning it off by heart as soon as I got it. But in hindsight, if I look back, I definitely didn't really know what it was or why I had one. So if we can just start off with, Simon, what is a national insurance number and when might we need it?
So, first of all, you're very impressive, Kathryn, the fact that you memorised your national insurance
I
number.
still know it. I still know it off by heart.
My other half's like this. She's the same, and it fascinates me how you remember that. I always have to refer to the HMRC app, which has the number in there, the national insurance number, and I needed it yesterday to talk about a pension with a pension company. So you do need it. So when you turn 16, you will get a national insurance number, and that is a way of identifying you. And people like HMRC, your employer, Department for Work and Pensions, if you're claiming some kind of benefits, will ask for this national insurance number, and it's a way of checking that it's you and linking systems to your account, basically. And you'll find that it's the employer's way of letting HMRC know about your tax details as well, because they can cross-reference it with the national insurance number and your name, which obviously your name could change throughout your life. You might get married, civil partnership, that kind of thing. So your national insurance number, when you turn 16, you will receive that through the post. If you don't, you can always apply online at gov.uk. And it's one of those things you're going to have to keep handy, because the last thing you want is to be going for your first job and you turn up and you're all nervous and you're waiting and they say, can we have your ID documents, please? And you hand over your passport, whatever. And then they say, oh, and have you got your national insurance number? And you suddenly panic and you're off to a bad start of the job interview because you've panicked about the national insurance number. So keep it to hand, and you can do that on the HMRC app.
Brilliant. Thanks, Simon. So clearly it is really important, nothing to worry about, but it is something that young people need to have to hand for those applications and for various other questions they might be asked in those types of processes. So I know that you mentioned it in your previous answer, but just to remind everybody, what is the easiest way to get your national insurance number?
So the easiest way is the HMRC app. You'll probably remember, Kathryn, when we used to get little cards and letters that came through the post with it on.
Yes, it was like a little blue and red card.
That's it,
I
yes.
still have it somewhere.
And these are the days when I used to carry a wallet around with me. And now, you've got your bank card in your pocket and a phone, and that's pretty much it. There's not really a
Yeah.
need for a wallet now. Yeah, the HMRC app. So you will get your letter when you turn 16 with your national insurance number on. But of course, you're probably going to tuck that in the kitchen drawer before you make tea, and then you forget it's there. And like I said to you, the next thing you know, you're sat in a corridor going for your first job and you get asked what it is. Or you're on the phone and you've been waiting to speak to, I'm not giving a personal example here, but you've been waiting an hour on hold to speak to someone. You get through and they go, what's your national insurance number? And you panic. So the easiest way, you can have it on your phone, the HMRC app. It's a free app. You can download it. You sign in using your government gateway, which if you haven't got, you can very easily set up on gov.uk. And what you can do, Kathryn, that's important on the HMRC app is you not just click the button and view your national insurance number, but sometimes employers ask for the PDF copy, an actual copy of the letter to prove that it's your national insurance number. It's like a confirmation letter. And what you can do is you can save, print and share that accessible PDF version directly from the app. So if you're in that situation that I'm picturing in a corridor, you're waiting for your interview, they ask you, you can actually just ping it off the app and email it to them. So it's really easy for the employers as well, but super easy for you, because then you're not worrying it. And if before the interview, someone rings you and says, can you send us your national insurance number? Ping it off the app. Young people today are so tech savvy. At HMRC, we've recognised that, and that actually they might lose the letter. They might not file it away in a folder like I used to do. And that way, if it's on the phone and it's on the app, they can just easily do it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Simon. And then in terms of what else young people can do with the national insurance number using the app, is that mainly around accessing the number itself as a means of identification and, like you said, printing it off if needs be and sharing it on to those potential employers? Is there anything else they might need to know with what they would do with it on the app?
Well, the other thing you can do, Kathryn, with the national insurance number on the HMRC app is something that I do every morning when I buy my train tickets online. I add the train tickets to the wallet on my phone. I don't know if you've used that function, but
Yep,
it's quite
yep.
new to me, that.
It's pretty handy.
Yeah, if you've got like a loyalty card for a supermarket or a shop, you can stick that in your wallet. It's what we're talking about. The leather wallet I had in my pocket that I bought at a market in Spain on holiday years ago that I don't use now. I suppose it's now my phone. So you have on your phone a wallet, whether it's the Google wallet it's called, or whether it's your iPhone Apple wallet. And what you can do is you can put your national insurance number into that wallet. So it can always be accessed. And that's even if you're offline. So if you go somewhere and you're sat in that corridor and you're panicking and you've not got any signal, you can still access it in there, and it will be protected by your phone's security features as well. Another couple of things that you hinted towards, Kathryn, that you can do on the HMRC app as well, which you'll find very useful, particularly if you're going for a new job or your first job. Along with the national insurance number, you can also check your tax code. So if you started a job and they've stuck you on an emergency tax code because they don't know what you're earning, you can check it through the app. You'll find every now and again some websites come along, or people like Martin Lewis of Money Saving Expert will say, check your tax code. It might have changed. You can do that on the app. Also, if you're switching jobs further down the line, you can view and download your employment history as well. So your start and end dates of employment. So if you're going for a job and you want to update your CV, that's really handy. It's all there on the app. And it will also let you estimate your take-home pay. There's a little tax calculator on there. And there's also a feature that shows you what your tax money's going to. So I know, Kathryn, for a lot of young people, it's like, why are we taxed? What is this all about? And,
Mm-hmm.
you don't always know or understand what tax money is used for. Well, there's actually a section of the app where it breaks down the tax you've paid and shows you where it's going and what that tax money is used for. So I find that really interesting. And finally, you can view your pay slips and check your payroll number on the HMRC app as well. So if your employer hasn't sent them to you, I'm sure they will do. But if they don't, or you've lost them, you can do that on the HMRC app as well.
Do you know what? It's so reassuring to know that that's all in the one place. But also, like you said, if our listeners want to know a bit more about actually the process behind the scenes and where that money's going, then it sounds like it's easy for them to find that out as well. So thank you so much for all of those insights and tips. They've been so useful, and I know they'll have been incredibly helpful for anyone listening and seeking support or guidance in this area.
Pleasure.
All right, so that's all for this mini-sode. Thank you for listening. If you haven't done already, do check out the longer episode and keep an eye out for other mini-sodes in this series. See you next time.